bet you hang around somewhere else, sir.
I can't use that here.
But what a hair-raising tale, Mr. Buzzard. You live a very dangerous and interesting life. Oh, Mr. Pig Detective, Mr. Buzzard here has just told us about his adventures. Being assaulted by a criminal and tied up in his bed, and how you took a sock out of his mouth. You are both such heroes.
Yes, it's been a very exciting night. I am glad you are now reunited with your proper lawyer. I'm sure he'll be a great help to you managing your affairs, unlike that Mr. Blind.
Would you care to join us for a cup of tea?
I don't mind if I do.
Well, Mr. George, what is the state of affairs?
Yes, about that, Miss Ella. I need your help.
Have you investigated the whole house already? I'm sure there are some nooks and crannies that you haven't discovered yet.
Thank you. That's a very good idea. I might just do that. Doo-ba-doo.
If you're just joining us, you're listening to Innovault AM Radio. I'm your host, Chester Frampton Scrumpley, bringing you the very best and latest. Here is Eloise DuPont.
I'm sorry, sir, but I cannot let you go outside. Constable Cat said everyone needs to stay in the house until the investigation is concluded.
Tell me again about that saber in your room.
Me and the valet have to practice our fencing skills every night. We are preparing for the Day of the Duck, sir. Please don't mention it to anyone. We are in a secret society. Anates de super, sir. If people complain about the fencing noises, we're telling them it's the ghost of old General Wilhelm von Buffington, still fighting his duel in the afterlife. He died fighting that duel, you'll see.
Thank you. That's valuable information.
Aha, my trusted colleague. How is the case going? The current state of affairs is this. Mr. Robert M. Blind faked a ghost and then mysteriously disappeared. Do you have any new information for me?
The strangest thing happened. Mr. Blind, the lawyer who disappeared, might not be the lawyer of the Buffington family at all. I met a Mr. Buzzard who is staying at the inn in the woods, and he seems to be the genuine family lawyer from Legal Eagles in Big Town.
I could have told you that. Mr. Buzzard has been handling the Buffington's affairs for years. So this Mr. Blind is an imposter then? He needs to be brought to justice. Do you have any new information to impart?
Enormous progress has been made. Mr. Happy and I discovered Mr. Blind in an abandoned hut in the woods. He is in a bad way, though, half delirious and possibly mauled by wild beasts. We, deposited him in Mr. Froglump's care. Mr. Froglump is the gamekeeper of the Buffington estate.
I know who Mr. Froglump is. Capital fellow. If that Mr. Blind is in his care, nothing can go wrong. Do you have any new information to impart?
I'm afraid that is all for the moment. I will return as soon as I learn anything new.
Good job, good job. Please keep investigating. In the meantime, I'll have another cup of tea.
Ah, it's the famous pig detective again. Have you found out what happened to my poor pineapples?
The investigation is ongoing. So far, I can tell you. Something seems to have escaped from the refrigerator in the kitchen and made its way here to the glass house. Whatever it was that destroyed all your pineapples escaped by breaking the glass house wall. I discovered a deserted cabin in the woods. There were these strange eggs all over the place, and some of them have hatched. There were traces of your pineapples at that location, I'm afraid. That's all I got for now.
What a strange and confusing story, Mr. Pig Detective, sir. What is the world coming to? I ask you, what is the world coming to?
I'm sorry, sir, but I cannot let you go outside. Constable Cat said everyone needs to stay in the house until the investigation is concluded.
Tell me about that portrait again.
That is Wilhelm von Boffington. The old gen people say you have to practice.
And that's how Mr. George returned the coronation jewel to the Catland government.
Oh, Mr. Pig Detective, would you care to join us for a cup of tea?
I don't mind if I do.
Well, Mr. George, what is the state of affairs?
Yes, about that, Miss Ella. I need your help.
Have you investigated the whole house already? I'm sure there are some nooks and crannies that you haven't discovered yet.
Thank you. That's a very good idea. I might just do that.
If you're just joining us, you're listening to Venavolt AM Radio. I'm your host, Chester Fount Scrumply, bringing you the very best and latest here in Eloise.
Ah.
If you're just joining us, you're listening to Venavolt AM Radio. I'm your host, Chester Fount Scrumply, bringing you the very best and latest here in Eloise.
Ah. What's this? Oh, it's the famous Kobayashi brand porcelain. That's a very prestigious manufacturer. I don't think this is a clue. Maybe I should turn on the radio. Hello?
Ah, the great detective returns.
About 100 years ago, there lived a very rich Boffington by the name of Ebenezer. He was incredibly stingy with his money, though, and apparently he hid a great deal of it right before he died. His ghost has been around ever since then to scare away the treasure hunters. I've personally witnessed the housekeeper filching a bowl of soup from the kitchen. It isn't a ghost at all that's stealing the food. I met an old-timer bird at the old inn who assured me that Wilhelm von Boffington did not die in a duel but has withdrawn to a secluded cottage where he's determined to live his last days in peace.
What a lot of hot rubbish. Please investigate this further. I implore you.
The new Lady Boffington is convinced she is being haunted by the ghost of her grandfather, Bertram of Boffington. Apparently, he whispers mean things about her parentage to her while she's trying to sleep. He disapproves of her mother's profession and her own. They are both in the entertainment industry. The servants report that the service bell rings very frequently for the White Attic, where Dorothea resided until her death. I found a letter from Cynthia to her lover Albert. She never lost her way and died after all.
What a lot of hot rubbish. Maybe you should find more evidence to bolster this theory up a little bit. I'd be very interested to hear it.
The so-called White Lady that is haunting the attic seems to be a certain Dorothea of Boffington. She was a very poor relation and ended her life all but imprisoned in a remote part of the house, locked away from the world. There's a very understandable reason to haunt a place, in my opinion. The butler tells me Mabel of Boffington was dearly beloved by everyone who ever met her, even the staff, which seems to be an exception. I met an old-timer bird at the old inn who assured me that Wilhelm von Boffington did not die in a duel but has withdrawn to a secluded cottage where he's determined to live his last days in peace.
What a lot of hot rubbish. Please investigate this further. I implore you.
The so-called White Lady that is haunting the attic seems to be a certain Dorothea of Boffington. She was a very poor relation and ended her life all but imprisoned in a remote part of the house, locked away from the world. There's a very understandable reason to haunt a place, in my opinion. The servants report that the service bell rings very frequently for the White Attic, where Dorothea resided until her death. I met an old-timer bird at the old inn who assured me that Wilhelm von Boffington did not die in a duel but has withdrawn to a secluded cottage where he's determined to live his last days in peace.
What a lot of hot rubbish. You clearly need to investigate more.
On the way to meet her secret lover, young Hyacinth of Boffington lost her way in the labyrinth and died, tragically. Her ghost has been spotted by the housemaids, wandering around, still trying to find her way to our own true love. The butler tells me Mabel of Boffington was dearly beloved by everyone who ever met her, even the staff, which seems to be an exception. Adelheid from Boffington was a very keen billiard player who won lots and lots of trophies.
What a lot of hot rubbish. You clearly need to investigate more.
The cook is very distressed about the ghost of Ludwig of Boffington, who apparently died as a result of his endless gluttony, and now haunts the kitchen to steal food. I've personally witnessed the housekeeper filching a bowl of soup from the kitchen. It isn't a ghost at all that's stealing the food. I found a letter from Cynthia to her lover Albert. She never lost her way and died after all.
What a lot of hot rubbish. Please conduct further investigations and return when you have unearthed more evidence.
Mabel of Boffington seems to have been a very successful businesswoman who founded the Boffington Pineapple Empire. There are pictures of her all over the house. I've personally witnessed the housekeeper filching a bowl of soup from the kitchen. It isn't a ghost at all that's stealing the food. There is a hole drilled into a bathroom wall that comes out directly next to Lady Boffington's bed. The voice she hears in her sleep isn't a ghost, it's just someone hiding in the bathroom.
What a lot of hot rubbish. Please investigate this further. I implore you.
The staff told me that General Wilhelm von Boffington lost his life fighting a duel, and his ghostly sabre is still heard clanking away in the corridors at night. The staff have confided in me that it's actually them that's responsible for the clanking noises. There is a hole drilled into a bathroom wall that comes out directly next to Lady Boffington's bed. The voice she hears in her sleep isn't a ghost, it's just someone hiding in the bathroom.
What a lot of hot rubbish. I haven't heard so much nonsense in all my lifetime, which is now over.
Hello?
Ah, the...
According to Lady Boffington, her great-aunt Adelheid haunts this parlour because it used to be the billiard room. Apparently, Aunt Adelheid disapproved of every kind of frivolous pastime activity. Hidden in her old music box, I found a note that Cynthia wrote to her lover, hinting that she hid a farewell letter from him at the centre of the labyrinth. There is a hole drilled into a bathroom wall that comes out directly next to Lady Boffington's bed. The voice she hears in her sleep isn't a ghost, it's just someone hiding in the bathroom.
What a lot of hot rubbish. You clearly need to investigate more.
And that's how Mr. George exposed Cloverfield Industries' evil plans.
Oh, Mr. Pig Detective, would you care to join us for a cup of tea?
I don't mind if I do.
Well, Mr. George, what is the state of affairs?
Oh, everything is going absolutely splendidly. I just dropped in for a chat.
And that's how Mr. George put Doyle Loonigan behind bars once and for all.
Oh, Mr. Pig Detective, would you care to join us for a cup of tea?
I don't mind if I do.
Well, Mr. George, what is the state of affairs?
Yes, about that, Miss Ella. I need your help.
Have you investigated the whole house already? I'm sure there are some nooks and crannies that you haven't discovered yet.
Thank you. That's a very good idea. I might just do that.
If you're just joining us, you're listening to Venavolt AM Radio. I'm your host, Chester Fount.
It's locked. I'm not breaking and entering. I'll need to find a key. It's not locked. Why can't I open it? Is it barred from the other side? I'm not breaking and entering. I'm not breaking and entering.
If you're just joining us, you're listening to Venavolt AM Radio.
What's this?
If you're just joining us, you're listening to Venavolt AM. You're just joining us, you're listening to Venavolt AM Radio. I'm your host, Chester Fount. Scrumpy, very best in latest.
Looking good, George. What's this?
Ah, Mr. Pig Detective, back so soon. have you found the way to the inn in Wienerwald Woods?
I have indeed.
How excellent, then you can show me where it is. Together we will get to the bottom of this story. My readers so love to get the male perspective on things. So this is the old inn in the woods. How very rustic. But I suppose it is romantic. Now, where do you suppose we should start looking for the secret treasure?
I don't know where to start either. I suppose we'll have to investigate the whole place.
Why don't you do that while I distract the receptionist? Oh, Mr. Badger, may I have a word?
What's this? Hey, you there. Leave your fingers away from our key. That's the key to our staff-only area. There's a key behind that counter that we'll need to acquire.
Excellent work, Mr. Pig Detective. Here's the plan. I distract the badgers. You try to steal the key. Oh, Mr. Badger, may I have a word?
Nosy Parker's my name. I'm a journalist for Modern Mouse magazine.
Hey, you there. Leave your fingers away from our key. That's the key to our staff-only area.
This is a very charming inn you've got here, Mr. Badger. I suppose it's very old. Do you have an extensive basement under the house?
The basement? Oh, no, there is no basement here at the Wolpertinger Inn. Hey, you there. Leave your fingers away from our key. That's the key to our staff-only area.
This is a very charming inn you've got here, Mr. Badger. I suppose it's very old. Do you have an extensive basement under the house?
The basement? Oh, no, there is no basement here at the Wolpertinger Inn.
No basement? But where are the staff quarters, if not in the basement?
Oh, our staff quarters are upstairs.
Upstairs? That must be very...
Success! I managed to steal the key. That makes me a very bad role model for children, by the way.
That is a sacrifice you have to be prepared to make in the interest of journalistic investigation. Now, Mr. Badger over there told me that the inn doesn't have a basement. He must be lying, because my source assures me there are extensive dungeons below this house. This is where we must go.
But the staff quarters are upstairs. Are you telling me I stole a key and ruined my reputation for nothing?
If the staff area is upstairs, upstairs you must go. Sometimes going up is the way down. Mr. Pig Detective, have you found the secret dungeon yet?
I'm still working on it. Hello, stranger. Welcome to the Wolpertinger Inn, the most haunted inn. I thought I made it clear. I don't have any money on me. I thought I made it clear. I don't have any money on me. The inn is haunted? Like, by a ghost?
Wolfgang, there's a strange...
Johann.
The ghost...
The ghost? The Wolpertinger.
Well, can you explain the ghost? I'm not from around here. I'm from Big Town.
Big Town? Are you saying our ghost is not famous in Big Town? That is a scandal.
After all the work Alfred has done advertising, we were hoping the ghost would be more famous.
I will tell you about the ghost. It is the ghost of Ebenezer of Buffington, a very rich flamingo gentleman, hundreds of years ago. Rich, but also very stingy. When he died, he buried all of his money. People came from all over the country to hunt for the treasure. Our grandparents built this inn, so the treasure hunters had a place to eat and sleep. Nobody found the treasure and they stopped looking, but Ebenezer of Buffington did not like that. So he turned into a ghost and haunts the woods, looking for the buried treasure himself. He screams and howls a lot. Did you not hear the screams and howls on your way here?
A ghost looking for the treasure he buried in his lifetime? How very plausible. Thank you for this entertaining story. Oh, I'm fine for now.
Mr. Pig Detective, have you found the secret dungeon yet?
I'm still working on it. Seems I can't open this without a key. What's this?
These are some seriously ghostly sounds. The ghostometer is going off the charts. It seems louder over here for some reason.
What's this?
Mr. Pig Detective, have you found the secret dungeon yet?
I'm still working on it. What's this? Miss Parker, I found it! I found the secret dungeon!
Why, Mr. Pig Detective, you are a very proficient investigator. You've found the secret dungeon after all.
Miss Parker, why are we breaking into the basement of the inn?
Well, welcome to the world of investigative journalism, Mr. Pig Detective. You see, about a week ago, I was working at my office at Modern Mouse magazine.
1 week earlier.
I was working at my office at Modern Mouse magazine when I received a mysterious parcel in the mail. The parcel contained a little worn notebook filled with peculiar drawings and clues. An anonymous letter accompanying this artifact explained that there was a dungeon under the Wolpertinger Inn in Wienerwald Woods. This dungeon, the letter claimed, was built over 100 years ago by the legendary Lord Ebenezer of Boffington. It was built to guard a mythical treasure that countless fortune hunters have been seeking in vain ever since. My journalistic nature was instantly stirred, and I decided to make haste to Wienerwald Woods in order to explore this dungeon and discover the treasure. To disguise my true intention, for nobody likes a gold digger, I telephoned Boffington Hall and pretended to be interested in writing a character profile of its owner. Imagine my surprise when I found the new Lady Boffington to be a rather interesting person. My in-depth interview with her will interest the readers of Modern Mouse magazine no end. But I digress. Long story short, I was invited to stay at Boffington Hall. So here we are.
So we're looking for buried treasure.
Well, not exactly buried treasure. Well-guarded treasure, more likely. According to this book, the way to the treasure is paved with booby traps and challenges that we need to overcome. Riddles to solve, tasks to do, that kind of thing. I hope I can count on you for this as well, Mr. Pig Detective. We've come this far together, it would be a shame to give up now.
I'm with you, Miss Parker. I enjoy a good treasure hunt.
Spoken like a true detective. I expected no less of you. Let the games begin.
What's this?
Mr. Pig Detective, what have you found?
There is kind of a mural here of a very big crown and a basin filled with precious stones. I think maybe they can be attached to the crown in some way.
Ah, yes, that would be the crown riddle. I have a clue to its solution right here. It is a poem too, which I think is very fitting. Listen closely. The band is adorned with rubies, and sapphires stud the arch. The cross is encrusted with aquamarines, while rose quartz the flowers enlarge. A very big citrine makes up the ball, and pearls go everywhere else. Remember to not use black opals at all, not even when everything fails.
Am I supposed to know which gemstone is which in this scenario? And what the individual parts of a crown are called?
I'm sure you'll figure it out, Mr. Pig Detective. How hard can it be? They're just rocks.
Most interesting.
What is it, Mr. Pig Detective?
It seems to be some kind of scales. I can see weights on one side, and there are empty trays on the other side. And over here, things to place on them. Gold coins and cups and rings and apples and things.
Oh yes, I have these items here in my book too. I think you're supposed to do some kind of math with them. Always count your treasure well. Know what it is worth. Judge the weights right, all is swell, but misjudge and go to hell. Mr. Pig Detective, I sure hope you're good at maths. Apparently the different items have a different worth assigned to them. There are a couple of arithmetical problems in here that might help you with figuring it all out. Only don't ask me for help, I'm no good at numbers. I'm a word bird.
What's this?
What are we looking at, Mr. Pig Detective?
Seems to be some kind of musical instrument. It has keys in any case.
Ah, the bonophone. There are 3 different tunes written down here. I'm sure one of them will do the trick if played correctly. Oh, music, sweet music, you open the door to everyone's hearts and to treasure galore. But only the right song will open the way. The wrong will destroy you? Oh no, and oy vey.
Wrong song will destroy me? Better play the right one then. But which song is the right one?
Maybe there's some sort of clue in the title. But finding the right song is only half the job. You also have to try not to play too many wrong notes.
Ah!
Mr. Pig Detective, did you just destroy the bridge?
I guess I had one too many pastries for dinner. What's this? This must be the treasure we've been seeking. Now all the danger and all the effort will finally pay off. Oh, it's empty.
It's empty. The treasure chest is empty. What happened to the treasure of Ebenezer von Boffington?
The treasure is not here, and you shouldn't be here either. I told you the inn hasn't got a basement. Why didn't you believe me?
I am an investigative journalist, Mr. Badger. I don't believe what people tell me. I only believe in facts. We are looking for the treasure of Ebenezer von Boffington.
Are you? Well, the fact is there is no treasure. Not anymore, at least. There used to be one, over 100 years ago. Ebenezer von Boffington hid it, and he hired my grand Badger Golo to guard it. For payment, of course. The Badger family has been guarding the treasure ever since, taking the payment from this very treasure chest every year. But now, there is no treasure left to pay us, and no treasure left to guard either, so all we have is a basement full of booby traps.
What a fascinating story. My readers at Modern Mouse magazine would love to hear everything about it.
Come back upstairs to the inn and I will answer all your questions. A story in a magazine might be good for business.
Hang on, is that why you sent me the notebook to lure me to Wienerwald Woods and investigate the whole story? Because you wanted the publicity?
Oh no, you knew it was us that sent you the notebook the whole time?
Well, I am an investigative journalist. And there were paw marks all over the envelope and on the pages of the notebook, too. Badger paw marks, smelling faintly of apple strudel.
We have been discovered. Please do not judge us. We need more customers or we will have to close the inn, and then what would become of this dungeon our family has been working so hard to keep in mint conditions? It's not cheap keeping a dungeon going, all those lamps burning all days, costing a lot of fuel.
So it's the Badgers who are keeping all the lamps burning down here. I've been wondering about that.
I'm opening the door for you over there. You will find yourself in Boffington Hall. Please tell nobody there about us and the dungeon.
Thank you! What's this? Well, what do we have here? What's this? Well, what do we have here? I can't use that here. What am I supposed to do with that? Not the right time or place to use this. What am I supposed to do with that? Seems I can't open this without a key.